Hey YouTube, it's the test lead, and today you're watching part 2 of the Michael Brown interview. Part 1, if you have not seen it already, will be linked below in the description box. You can watch that one after this video. And if you would like to be featured and share your QA experience, please email me at thetestinglead@gmail.com. Now back to the video. So how was the job market for you? How long did it take you actually to find your first job?
The job market is weird. So it was interesting. So basically, I applied to everything that didn't have automation in the title because automation is not what I'm doing. I didn't care what was in the description because I learned it quickly that companies, they put unicorn descriptions in their thing. They'll copy and paste from one company because they're looking for the ideal candidate. But the ideal candidate is not working in QA. First of all, if you know automation, you're not getting paid. If you know code, you're not getting paid 70,000. Like that's low for a software engineer, right? So I just applied. I stopped caring what was on the application. I got a lot of rejection emails. I got a lot of rejection. Matter of fact, I got a rejection email today. I applied to so many jobs, I'm still getting rejection emails. So what I recognized was that the market, because at that time we are going through transition, right? That's when people are realizing money is a little tighter, prices are going up. We're hearing about this company freezing, that company freezing, and there was just so many things in the middle. And then it seemed like so many people were being entrepreneurs and they're just, they got laid off. Like, everybody wants to be a content creator and everything else. So I just did what I was told. I didn't ask any questions, but what I recognize is that there were companies that were so far behind because there were so many people that were applying. Again, it's one of the reasons why I probably got the rejection letters today. I think it was like 2 of them. Emails today because they were backed up. Yeah. I think even the company that I work for now, I applied in August. And
when did you actually start?
November.
Wow.
I applied the end of August. The recruiter took several. The recruiter was just backed up. And so it took like 2 or 3 weeks for me to get an actual recruiter conversation. And once I got the recruiter conversation, then I started moving through the thing. And so I'll say that took probably about, once I had that conversation with her, I'm saying maybe 3-4 weeks, because I went through 3 interview rounds. And the last one was like, it was 2, because I had one with my director, who's my manager. And then I had the other one, I had 2 2-hour-long, no, 3 1-hour-long video interviews, but 2 was in the same day. So I had one where it was my manager and somebody else. That was an hour for that day. Then the very next day, or later that week, or the next week, whatever, I had 2 at the same, 2 kind of like an hour and a half behind. And so I was like, you know what? Cool. But they do that for everyone, not just what I was applying for. But the document that we had for questions and answers, as well as the video that went along with that document, helped me out a lot. It was like over 120 plus questions and answers. It literally broke down kind of everything, even in the project that we worked on. Like, they literally gave me all the tools to be successful. And for me, all I need to do was follow the system. If there's one thing I learned, is just follow the system. But applying was difficult because I'm tired and it's taking 3 hours, an hour and a half, 2 hours. You're talking about 30 jobs a day. Sometimes I would just do 15 in the morning and do 15 in the evening, just so I wasn't sitting at the computer for so long at that time. But it gave me everything I needed. Ultimately, I had how many? 5 actual interviews. And we consider an interview a non-HR conversation. like non-recruiter, non-HR conversation. So it's like you're actually talking to a manager of some type. That is an actual interview. So I had 5. So I had 5 different companies that I interviewed with, and I ended up, and I had like 2 were kind of like my last week, and then I ended up with this one.
So now that you actually have a job, boot camp's done, are you happy with your decision about making a boot camp?
Oh man, listen. what that little baby say? Listen, Linda, listen. So I work for a nonprofit, so I believe in what the company is doing. Like I can see where the work that I do on the back end, it helps the mission of what the nonprofit is doing. We use Salesforce, which is its own thing, because my internship was more or less with like a social media platform, which I know. So it's easy to test something when you already know how it works from an end user standpoint. Technically, I do know what Salesforce, how a user uses Salesforce. The great thing and the great thing about Salesforce, but the annoying thing on the back end is that you can customize Salesforce for whatever the company wants.
Yeah.
Right. So how I used it for sales isn't how we're using it on the back end per se, but it's still a CRM either way. So learning Salesforce is probably the most difficult thing for me right now, just because it's a new thing for me to learn. But I have the tools to do that. My manager said, look, if you want to learn anything, if we got to pay for the training, we'll do so. Trailhead is a very free and easy tool. Well, it's free for me. Learning Salesforce, I don't know, but I know it's free for me. I make 20. Nope. If I look at just the base pay, not commission, I make $45,000 more than I was making at my other job.
Oh snap! Oh wow! Congrats!
Yeah. And they actually offered me more than what I stated. So I told them, I gave them out, and I kind of and I use Glassdoor as an indicator. So any job that I apply, if I knew I was interviewing, I would go on Glassdoor and see and I would either see what interview questions show up for them. I would look and see what their pay is for that role. All these are things that I was taught in careers too. Just so you know. But yeah, I'd use Glassdoor as a researching tool for said company and for what the QA market is doing as a whole for 0 to 1 year, because that's my bracket, right? So I knew what the market was doing, and QA keeps going up. Every time I turn around, the pay, it keeps going up. Matter of fact, the website I looked at earlier, it said the median income is like 96. Now they're taking everything into account. I'm not at 90, but I'm not far from 90. Just leave it there. So, and I get to work from home. So I work from home. I am making money that allows me to take care of my family and still have money left over. I have unlimited PTO. I have an amazing team. Now, every job isn't like that, because I've interviewed for places where it's on site. I know people who are part of the program, and the companies that they're with aren't necessarily the greatest, or they get paid less. It's so, everyone's situation is different, but I will say, even if someone is paying, depending on what that less is, like sometimes it's just better to get into the door, work there for 6 months, get the experience, and don't change your LinkedIn. Right? It's like, don't change your LinkedIn. All right, y'all are offering me what? All right, you know what? I'm gonna take it. But I know my value and I know my worth is way more than what y'all are giving me if it's a low ball, and I'm just not going to change my LinkedIn profile. And I'm going to keep interviewing until I find something that works for me. And so that's the thing. Like a lot of what I had to learn, a lot of what careers taught was mindset too. Now, they generally say 70 to 80,000 is your bare minimum. It is like, if it's 65, maybe take it, but keep looking. Right? They say you can take it, but keep looking. But we've had people who have made 110. It's all about where, where it is. We had somebody who just got hired from Facebook. Wow. And I was like, weird. Facebook just let go a whole bunch of people. No, I'm sorry, Samsung. Now, someone got Facebook a while ago. That did take place, but we had somebody who just recently got hired for Samsung directly. And I used to work for Samsung from a third-party standpoint, so I know how nice that is. Yeah, I am glad I made the decision that I did, because not only does it help me take care of my family, it has put me into a world that I didn't think that I was going to be able to get into based on the illusion of what IT is. I'm now gaining enterprise experience, Salesforce experience, and nonprofit experience. And within 6 months, I'm going to be a supervisor. So it's like, this is just kind of the bare, and where I'm at is just a starting block for me. So it's like, oh man, this is great. It's like, this is great. Anybody who is looking at a boot camp, I'm going to say, do your research, talk to the salespeople, and see what's going on. But your careerist and then the test pro, those seem to be the two main ones that I see the most often. And I know the test pro, they have YouTube videos, and at least every month, they have stories of people who have graduated and gotten a job. And generally it's within, I'm generally gonna say, I've seen 3 months to 6 months ish. That Careers doesn't post those success stories on YouTube. You got to be a part of the program. But yeah, do the due diligence. It doesn't take a lot to do manual testing. All you really have to do is just understand the tools. To be honest, you can find them on Udemy, because I also took a Udemy course while I was at it just to get a different perspective. So yeah, I wasn't playing. I wasn't playing. I was taking your info. I took the Udemy course. It was like 10 hours. I took that Udemy course. I was also in careers. And so I was just like, I'm going to get what I can to get to where I need to go, because for me, I didn't have another alternative.
And that's the thing, like my main push for boot camps, because all information that in boot camps you can find on your own, but you got to find it and say, okay, is this a reliable resource? Is it still relevant? So one, to give you a structured curriculum in boot camps. The second thing is the networking aspect, because you talk to your friends and other people and classmates like, hey, you got a job where? Are they still hiring? Can you bring me along also?
Yep. Those things can't happen. I do know that there have been people who had been either forwarded or referred to from careers to other people who work. But what I will say is that we tend to, I told my story. I don't divulge where I work. And I'll say the type of industry I'm in, but I don't divulge where I work, because I don't need people calling me all day either, saying, hey, can you do this? Because I'm gonna just give a tip for anyone who is seriously looking at QA. You have to think like an engineer, and thinking like an engineer is knowing how to be resourceful for yourself. So we have had people who ask questions that are in our material. So instead of looking through the material, you're going to ask us, you're asking questions, or you're asking Googleable questions.
Yeah.
If you're asking a question that you can find out on your own, you won't last, because no one's going to want, your first month or 2 or 3, okay, cool. But asking the same question that was in the very beginning is not going to help you, because they need people who think for themselves. And without doing research, or without even looking to find the answer, you end up becoming a liability. And I don't want those people calling me, looking me for a job, because I'm not referring them. I'm just not. I think I only asked one question, and that was, hey, a recruiter said she was going to call me. She never called me back. Should I be because those happen. I've had interviews that were set up on a Saturday. I had an interview that was set up for noon on a Saturday, and I had my daughter with me that weekend, and they never showed up. And I had to push our movie date back because I had this interview, and they never showed. So I've had several no-shows or people just not called back or whatever. It's just a part of the game. But that's the reason why we flood the market like we do, because eventually the law of averages is going to play out in your favor as long as you continue to persist. And so that's what I'll say. You just have to be diligent with it, and you have to be able to just take the information and just run, and don't second guess it.
Got you. So if anyone has any questions, can they reach out to you, or should they leave a comment?
Yes, or absolutely, from here they can reach out to me. So my email is Mike, MikeB as in Brown 6991@gmail.com. So again, that's Mike B 6991@gmail.com. Just put in there, I saw your interview from the test lead, and I will answer and help out however I can.
I'll leave it on the screen so you can also just get it straight from that. But thank you. Any last remarks, tips, advice?
This is better than help desk because I don't have to deal with customers. And I've coming from retail. All I've had is to deal with customers. But like it's fun. I am starting a new journey in my life, and what I have gained far outweighs what I went through to get here, if that makes sense. And so if anyone is seriously looking at getting into QA, it's simple to do if you follow the right path, because there are a lot of paths. So like your information for free, like start, I don't know, whenever the very first video, or it's like whatever that video you did on what QA is and how to get a job. I think that you may even have a playlist for that. Go through all his playlists, and it will, if nothing else, give you the information that you need. And if you feel like you want to do a boot camp from there, or you're ready, then go ahead, because you'll get that guidance. But if nothing else, take the free information to get yourself familiar, so that you know this is what you want to do, and then look at the proper boot camp that'll fit your budget, your timeline, and everything else. That's all, and believe that it's going to happen, because it will take time, and it can be discouraging. It can be discouraging.
And that's the thing, like even going through the process is going to be discouraging, because it's all this information being thrown at you, and like, what the hell, is like a different language. Yep. And then once you start applying for jobs, you're like, wait, I'm not guaranteed a job on the first hit.
Nah, but I mean, people pay tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars for college, and we are learning that going to college does not guarantee you anything, right? Networking will get you more than college, and companies aren't even really focusing on college so much anymore. No one asked me about the school. I went to school a while ago. I went to school a while ago. No one asked me about that. They just want to know what happened. What did they say? Like, what have you done for me lately? Right. And so,
good job. Okay, cool.
Right. So all I had to do is explain what I've done. I talk about, they help you for that interview. You have the interview practice and things like that. Like, they really get you prepared, and then have the personality to show everyone that you are a fit. And sometimes they'll say no just because you aren't a fit for them. And I can tell you, I believe that is a good thing, because if they know, oftentimes if they think you're not a fit, you're not a fit for them either. Like, they're not a fit for you, true. Right?
They're just giving you a headache.
They really are. And so I know I had one of those, and they were not the most personable people in the interview. And they said, yeah, he's teachable, he's coachable, but he stumbled on some of his questions. I end up getting sick right before the interview, but I did the interview anyway. It's like, he stumbled on the questions, so we're going to pass. But I was the best person that they had interviewed to that point. Y'all bypassed me, though I was better. You know what? That's fine. Thank you, because now I'm here.
At least they gave you feedback. I had job interviews where easy interview, 2 months later, yeah, I think you're a good fit. I'm like,
Exactly.
or you don't hear back at all.
Or you get that one the most. You don't hear back at all. So, I mean, they told the recruiter and the recruiter gave me feedback. I already knew what the deal was, but I'm glad. And the thing, it's a process, but you get the support. We have a community within careers that we all talk to. You get access to a Slack channel. Like you get a lot of support. That is the other thing I will say. You get a lot of support.
So thank you again for everything.
No problem.
Thank you for your time. Congratulations on your journey.
Yes. Appreciate it. And keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
If I can add any input to any of your videos or anything, just let me know, because the journey is great, and I feel like more of us need to get in so that we can start representing our community.
I'm gonna keep asking for updates every so often.
Yeah. I plan. Yeah, most definitely. When I learn Salesforce better, I can definitely. Yeah, that is a thing. That is a thing. But I'm gonna go so I can go ahead and get some food. But again, sir, I appreciate you. Thank you for having me. And I wish you continued success on your content creation journey and enlightening more people about this industry.
Thank you.
No problem.
Have a good one. If you found this video helpful at all, please like, share, and subscribe. If you need help on your QA journey, check out my book, QA Must Know Vocabulary. And most importantly, don't forget to learn something new today.